Yo, welcome to the movies. And here we'll be discussing movies that came out in theaters. The good, the bad, and what they can do even better. My name is Asante Lewis, and here are my co-hosts.
Ken Wall.
Deja Wonder.
Let's get into it. We'll be talking about Captain Marvel. We saw that, Jones, on Thursday?
Thursday. March 7th. March 7th, released March 8th.
Who are the standout roles?
Standout people, obviously Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, Jude Law, that's a spoiler, can't say, Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, and Lashana Lynch, Maria Rambeau.
Yeah, that was her best friend, right?
Yeah, her best friend, yeah.
I wanted to state, we're going to all state right up front, this is not going to be spoiler free. We're going to be giving you spoilers so we can give you 100% review of what this movie was and how it did what it did.
Yeah, so, last chance. This is not a spoiler-free review. We're going into the movie, post-credit scene, the whole shebang. So, if you gotta leave,
get the fuck out!
Alright, so, yeah.
Let's talk about the good. What do we like about the movie?
Actually, before we even get into the movie itself, I think we should talk about the controversy surrounding the movie.
Yes, alright,
you're gonna have a bunch of people that possibly want to come and troll. Not this video, but review bombing situation. You got a take on that?
It's awful. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's shameful. It's fraudulent. It's fraudulent.
Yeah, so wait, we could just give a little explanation. So that was the IMDb. They were going on
Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
And just tanking the movie before they even seen it. So there were a lot of people giving movies a review for Captain Marvel. A lot of would you say feminist haters?
It was a lot of people that didn't want the movie to do well because they feel like feminism is a problem in this country.
And they thought the movie was bashing men, which it wasn't.
We'll talk about that too, but it wasn't. And they wanted to give reviews on a movie they hadn't even seen because they got nothing better to do at the time. So I would suggest anybody, I think we would all agree, go watch the movie for yourself and then decide if you like it or not based on the merits of the movie, not just make an assumption before you even watch the thing. Like, it's stupid.
You're a weirdo if you do that.
No, honestly, with Marvel, you gotta give them some kind of credibility. So don't take any review, fuck the haters, just go in there and go check out the movie. So let's jump right into the good. I think, because I don't have a lot to say about this movie, but I know the few things that I do want to say is that it was good, and I did like Brie Larson's character of Carol Danvers. Yeah. I like the way she was stoic, calm, and not over the top.
Yeah, I'd like to add about that because for some reviews that I saw about the movie before it even came out, there was this discussion about Brie Larson and if she has the ability as an actress to carry the role of Captain Marvel, because they were like, oh, is she kind of bland? And the thing the movie establishes in the first place is that because she becomes a Kree warrior, she wasn't originally like that, she was human, she's supposed to use her emotions less. And you're supposed to kind of be, like you said, stoic. So we see these glimpses of humor, and I think that was intentional to show that she is part human and she is part Kree. So I don't necessarily see the blandness because I saw like this glimpse of innocence throughout her portrayal of Carol / Captain Marvel throughout the movie. So I really don't. I disagree with the assessments about.
Yeah, I liked the pacing and the feel of this movie. Except for some reason, I felt like Power Rangers. It felt like a Power Rangers. I think it was because they were like a crew and they all had matching uniforms.
Yeah, and transformed.
Yeah, and then like you had that chase scene where it was like they were on like a road trip. Like they really did a good job. Obviously, it wasn't the main focus, but clearly it was like a side focus of keeping that 90s feel to it. Pacing was good in the movie.
I thought so.
The pacing, I felt like the movie went by like that, and I didn't feel like I missed stuff in it where it's like, whoa, they need to do more with that, or that was rushed. I felt like the pacing was.
I think that was actually correct. You'll see even in the trailer, she has flashbacks, and she's like, who the hell am I? And what they did was they used the scrolls as a way to tap into her mind and start to see what her memories were. So it was an easy way for them to give us quick glimpses of like, oh damn, I wasn't enough. I wasn't enough, now I am enough. And it was just like, all right, cool. I get where she came from. I see her human side. And then throughout the movie, you start to see, all right, how did she even become a Kree? Like, how did all that happen? And I think they did that in such a good way or a different way. Then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I accept it.
Yeah,
So.
and to me, like, to go back to your point about them doing the flashbacks, one of the things that I liked about the flashbacks, and that combats that, I guess those people that want to bomb the movie ahead of time, the way that they did Carol Danvers in her flashbacks, showing her trying to prove herself, that's something that you could have seen any guy trying to do, any weaker male that was trying to prove himself. Like, it was just like, she was the rebel. She was literally busting her ass to try and prove that she was worthy of being where she belonged. And that was just a narrative throughout the movie. It was just like, it was like any other movie where the hero is in the beginning they're weak, and then they overcome the struggle, and then they become the ultimate badass by the end. So, like, all in all, I thought they did a really good job with not only establishing that, but the pacing of the movie. So, I don't know. I don't really have much bad to say about this movie. It's very middle of the road Marvel movie. If you're going into this expecting another Black Panther or Avengers Infinity War, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But if you just like Marvel movies because they come with a competent story, good action, and something you could just watch really quickly, this is definitely the movie for you.
Like, I like, the last good thing I have to say was the twist.
Yeah.
The twist was good.
The twist
was good because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And especially because what they were saying in the future, like when this movie was first announced, it was like, oh, we're going to get introduced to the Skrulls and they're going to be the next big bad. They're going to be like the next Thanos, which there still could be a possibility. But with this movie, they flipped the script and they made it where the Skrulls are the good guys. It's not. They're not the bad guys, so we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, I mean, when does this happen? 1995. She saves them. So we have like a good 15, no, even more than that. Like a huge gap between then and now to see what happens.
Because like now, what if like the leader, how do you say his name? Talos. He could die. They create offspring, and then the offspring is just bad. He's just like, yo, the world like treated us bad, like. So that's always a possibility.
Did you notice
that's
they
just
snuck in like the kind of like an immigration type agenda? Not immigration, but like the refugee kind of thing. It was like, all right, our place where we live has been destroyed. We're just looking for asylum. We're looking for a place that's going to take us. We're looking for a new home to establish. And then it's just like, the big bad, like they pretend like they're so noble, but they destroy our home. And
I like how Marvel's getting into that. I always like that. It's always something you gotta commend, and then the shithole. That was actually funny. That was actually funny.
Nice story there. So.
All right, awesome. So I'm glad we talked about that. Now we're gonna move into the bad.
The trash.
Honestly, the things that just really didn't work.
And I should like throw up an icon and be like, "Good trash."
Trash. To talk about the bad, I think one of the most the strong points about it being bad was the things that they threw in that destroyed the continuity of all the timelines that we know. It's like, how do you go about making a movie that you're setting up things that happened in the past, but things that have already happened in the present? We have Avengers where we're interacting with the Tesseract for the first time. And then you have these characters acting like, all right, now with Captain Marvel is the first time we've seen the Tesseract. So then in Avengers, did you really just see the Tesseract for the first time, or is it?
Because it was like, all right, this is what I kind of wish I did. We saw the Tesseract with Cap.
Yes, that's when we saw it.
When
that was actually before the Avengers. That was the first Avenger movie.
Because when did he wake up in 2000? They were keeping it relevant.
Yeah.
So he woke up. When did Avengers come out? It was like a year before. He legit woke up like 2010.
Yeah.
That's how they said it.
Yeah.
So like Nick Fury knew what they're saying now.
Stark that knew about the Tesseract.
And then so it's like you have that kind of continuity where they messed up, and then in Iron Man 1, remember Coulson. SHIELD wasn't a thing.
They didn't call themselves
SHIELD. It was security something. Remember, he was like, we got to find a better acronym. And then at the end, it was like SHIELD.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a thing yet. They weren't going by, we're SHIELD. Like, they called themselves SHIELD agents in Captain Marvel when it wasn't established yet because it was in the 90s.
Yeah. And they're going to have to do a lot of explanation of that because if that's set up in the 90s and Iron Man doesn't come out until about 2008, and Nick Fury's like, we need to find more heroes. Like, what was going on between that gap?
Right.
They literally set like a huge hole up for themselves, good or bad.
Because it's like, we know Captain America to be the very first Avenger, but then what is Captain Marvel, even though you just so-called discovered?
Yeah, like he's not,
Avengers.
but he is. He still is.
He still is.
Because he's just still, technically he's the first superhero.
Yeah.
He's the first superhero. So.
One other bad thing I feel like may have warranted an explanation is that we have Marvel, which I think in the original comics, Marvel was a man
It was
that she was in love with.
Yeah, like
and he died and gave her the ability. Even in the beginning, he's like, you know, when he's fighting her, he's like, yeah, you know, I gave you this power. It can be taken away, right? Was that?
Yeah.
He did say he gave her the fist, so it's like, I was like, all right, so this guy dude has to be Marvel. And then all of a sudden we find out Marvel is the scientist that, you know, basically came to Earth and was helping them create this light speed. But they never explained why Earth was so pivotal to the creation of light speed.
I guess because the Tesseract was there, but it's like, you got a point.
Right, because the Tesseract, it was on their moon station, so it wasn't on Earth, so she wasn't drawing the power from the moon station, or at least they didn't explain that. So Marvel is a very big mystery, and I don't think they're going to really touch more on it because...
And she went out like a punk. Like, it's just like, I'm going to be a Kree warrior, you just get...
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah,
the cool. And it's just like, come on, yo. And then,
which is weird. She was more hurt than Carol, who was human.
Yeah.
And you're a Kree. I'm like,
bro,
what?
Carol, when you saw her, and she was like,
Yo,
back
she's like, took off her seatbelt. She's like, yo, you good back there?
yeah, she
like,
was no blood whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you see the explosion, that's when you see the blood in her nose start pouring out. So I was like, what the hell? But another thing is, it's kind of like, too, Nick Fury's eye, that was a big problem. And
It's a problem for
it was kind of like,
explain what
they didn't, and it was not a Nick Fury origin story, even though Kevin Feige said that. Or one of the directors said it was supposed to be Nick Fury's origin story in a way. So if you get, like I said, it's a spoiler, Nick Fury loses his eye to a cat.
Yes, that shit scratched.
An alien cat, but how he loses his eye is not due to the aliens, the cat's alien powers. It's due to a cat power.
Yeah, cat
a
piss.
scratch.
Like, you're coming too
Literally
close
a
to me.
scratch. And we'll bring it up. In Captain America Winter Soldier, that scene when he said, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. Like, it was like, there's more, like, it was deep. When he said that, it was like, you were like, oh shoot, what happened to his eye then?
Yeah.
You thought it was more of a serious moment, and now it's like, he trusted a cat, and that's how he got his eye
And to speak to
taken?
that, do you feel like, now that we're talking about it, that some of the serious moments in this movie is lost because they decide to make a joke out of it?
They shouldn't, it was like,
Especially that.
they should not have made a joke out of that. It's just like the Iron Man 3 thing. It's like, Mandarin was not...
He's not
I
a
think you
joke.
could have done him a different way. Maybe you could have made him a jokey villain, but he was still serious, like he made jokes.
Yeah.
But you don't make the overall villain, like, you
A
just
joke.
change it like that.
Yeah.
You don't just change a script like that. You gotta keep some of the essence. Like, Nick Fury never should have went out like that.
My thing is, I could
His
understand if he was a cat lover and he was just this like jovial agent.
But
But
he
it-
was in the
he
movie,
was.
that's the thing. Like,
The thing was, he was a lot lighthearted. Now, if this is his origin story and we're not going to see him until
Yes.
Endgame, I expect that something pivotal is going to happen to make him become the Nick Fury that we love to watch on, in the movie. We know him as his soft side, but there's no transition at the end.
Yeah, there's no...
yeah.
I was like, what the...
Nothing to cause him to change other than
He was
he
a very
understands
nice
that
guy. Like,
aliens
you
exist.
wouldn't expect this is like Nick Fury in Captain America or any of the Avengers. You wouldn't see him as the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's trash.
Wait, is there anything else?
Larson's running.
Avengers.
Brie Larson, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of.
It was kind of.
It's kind of like, bro, you don't look serious when you're running. She runs like.
Because her legs, like her arms were good.
Yeah.
But then when they did a back shot, her legs were just like.
Yeah, it's like exactly. She runs like this, but her legs are like.
But she's barefoot. She was barefoot.
But still.
Nah, I seen her running. Remember, she was running on the spaceship and stuff.
Yeah, well, that was like, I don't know. Your form, you gotta go to Usain Bolt or something. Like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's another bad. All right.
Alright, so one thing that I guess is big, but I just want to touch upon it. I felt like when she got her powers, it lacked heart.
Yeah.
The movie lacked heart in like some of the ways, especially
we
with
didn't explain how
getting up to the power, where it's like she finally achieved that she didn't need like the thing.
My thing is she seems like somewhat of this is always in terms of explanation. She was no one special. She had nothing special that would allow her to be a conduit for the energy that comes from that light speed engine. She should have roasted from that naturally. That's an engine that combusts. You will burn. Your body's not going to take that thing in and just instantaneously evolve. That she evolved as a human to this new species of something that can have that much energy, and there was no explanation. So, for that reason, I have to pass. What? Movie's still
Alright, so what would we fix about the movie? First thing, the continuity. That should have been easy.
Yeah.
That should have been.
Yeah, you guys should have
they
I don't know.
checked,
Somebody
like,
at this point should come out on Monday morning. Somebody should come out on Monday morning and be like, "Look, guys, we didn't make a huge mistake. We're going to be filling in the gaps. We did this intentionally. Otherwise, you're going to leave viewers, people that are big fans of these movies, like, yo, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, who dropped the ball here?"
Because like you look at Infinity War, everything was checked.
Yeah.
I felt like they had like a clipboard and was like going through the movies, just checking everything off that it stayed intact.
Mm-hmm.
But this one like slipped through the cracks, and I don't know why, because this was a big movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would think then next after continuity comes Nick Fury.
When they do make a Captain Marvel too, because they said, my bad to cut you off, but Kevin Feige said they're going to continue with this time, where it's like it's not going to jump to present. It's going to like jump a little years ahead.
She doesn't exist in the present anymore because once you leave space,
That's true, yeah.
are in different.
Yeah.
So that's.
Remember how? So I discussed with these guys the story circle. Dan Harmon's story circle. It's a structure in which you tell stories. I think this movie would have benefited from that, especially with Nick Fury's story and Carol's story. The story circle involves like 8 major events that the character has to go through throughout the story. So A, they start in their comfort zone. 2, they have something that they need, that internal goal. 3, they enter into an unfamiliar situation. 4, they go searching for whatever it is they need. 5, they find what they need. 6, they pay a huge price for getting what they want. 7 is kind of a return to form either their original situation or something in that new state. And then 8, they have to change. In this, Nick Fury kind of stays the same.
Yeah,
the only thing that he learns new is that like aliens exist, but I don't really see an internal change from him. And even with the Carol thing, what she suffers from is, we knew from the get-go that she was going to be this powerful person. She was always powerful as a Kree itself. And when she makes this huge leap into becoming like unleashed Captain Marvel, it's like, did we really earn this? Did she really?
That was the thing.
No
there was
price
no
to pay that she paid.
Yeah, and I don't know what they were doing with
It's
that.
like she came back to C-53 Earth and she got everything she ever wanted. The end.
Yeah, the stakes were never high enough for Carol.
And then like them adding Ronan in at the end, I was like, why?
It's just like,
but me and you were talking about it. You had a good point with Captain Fury. Nick Fury, he should have. First of all, the stakes should have been higher to go like, yo, we need heroes. We need heroes. We need these superpower beings. And he should have went through some tragic loss. Like you were saying, like some of them Skrulls should have died on his watch. Like, he should have messed up big time and was like, yo, I'm never messing up like this ever again. Like, this was a close call. It could have been much worse.
The Earth was only in danger because they decided to go to space, and then the Earth doesn't even know anything about it. And the way the movie seems, it's like the only person that knows what happened is Nick Fury. Like, you never really see anybody from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Coulson barely knows.
Exactly.
He
so
barely
it's like,
knows.
do we really... Is there really a problem here for Captain Marvel? It's like, we know that she's gonna beat the odds, and there's nobody really out there that could do anything to her.
Yeah.
Like, so, alright, sorry to interrupt. So then what I'm getting from both of you guys is that Captain Marvel's movie should have been somewhat of a story that was similar or akin to Marvel The Avengers 1, where there is something big coming down, and that is horror. It's almost like that's why they formed the Avengers, because they realized that there's this big threat that the world would know comes to exist. Because
she was blowing up in spaceship in the
yeah,
you know, it's like,
there should have been some trigger because the satellites were
like,
spacecrafts literally going in and out of the planet without not even like Air Force One. No one was saying anything about it. They're like, I guess it's just a blip. You know. Come on.
It's Sputnik.
God, come on.
Nah, but like, there should have been, I feel like, with this Marvel movie, the stakes should have been more. The stakes should have been a lot more, like, compared to like a Black Panther. Because Black Panther, I like how they did it. It was more of like in the country, it was more secluded, which made perfect sense. But with this one, it should have been a world problem because this is what starts the Avengers.
Should have been a problem.
The Avenger Initiative.
Carol dropped out of the freaking sky. And crash landed into a blockbuster. It's like, I don't know. I guess they covered it up because they were like, oh, we don't need to focus on this. But in terms of what we know about S.H.I.E.L.D. and trying to, they're like this clandestine organization that takes care of these world problems that like these other organizations don't. I would have liked a little bit more, especially if this is building up how they came to be.
I guess my next question to you guys would be, what are we going to give this our score? Are we scoring this thing?
Yeah, I'd give it, it's like a middle of the
I would
road.
say 6.
I give it a 6.5.
I'd give it a 7. I'd give it a 7.
Oh, okay, so we're all like kind of...
6.5, I think, as a unilateral.
Yeah, I'm a 6.5.
They said it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Marvel stand. Like, it was better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was better than Doctor Strange.
I enjoyed it more than Doctor Strange.
I enjoyed it more. Yeah.
I will not watch. I'm not a fan of any of the Thor movies, but I put it up there with Thor 1.
Yeah, Thor 1. Yeah.
2 and 3. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that said, what I would want to say, and I think for all of us, is we're hoping that in Russo brothers' hands in this next upcoming Endgame, we may see Captain Marvel written in the best way.
Yeah, the same way they were able to do that with some
Thor,
of the other characters.
With Thor, they really good, and Doctor Strange,
Thor,
they
they made them the MVPs of those movies because of the way they wrote them. So I'm just gonna say this: for all of y'all out there, I'm warning you. I'm warning you right now. Do not stay for the second post-credit scene. Just don't. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's the cat throws up the Tesseract. That's it.
That's it.
If you really want to waste 5 minutes of your life, then sit right there and feel stupid.
It's only that mid post-credit scene you need to stay for.
Yeah.
That's
honestly,
it. Which is weird because they usually do the important one all the way at the end.
Yeah.
Which is
Well, no, they did this trend with Homecoming where they put up Captain America at the end. If you were expecting to see something, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't waste your time watching that, go take that piss you've been waiting to take since the movie started.
Yeah.
Just go.
You're not wrong about that.
Yeah. It was a very bad post-credit scene.
All right, guys, I'd like to say welcome to the movies just one more time. Thank you for sticking in with us, staying tuned. My name is Asante Lewis.
Ken Wall.
A Deja Wonder, go watch it.
But before Endgame, we're going to be talking about Us, Jordan Peele's Us. So stay tuned for that. In 2 weeks?
Yeah, a couple weeks. Yeah, we'll drop that.
Peace.